What's going on, everybody? This is Mark, aka Quayz. Welcome to another Coastin With Quayz video. Today, we're going to be talking about the news coming out of King's Dominion, which is the announcement of their new 2025 wing coaster, Rapterra. This ride has been rumored for a while now, so we've all been kind of expecting this, but I did want to take some time today and go over the layout and kind of analyze some of the different parts of the ride and give my thoughts on what I think it's going to be like. Right off the bat, let's take a look at some of the key elements of the ride. Rapterra starts with a 65 mile per hour launch, and then it goes right into a 145 foot wing over turn. After the turn, you go into a 119 foot dive loop. After the dive loop, you pop up into a 90 foot S-turn, and then you go into what the manufacturers and King's Dominion are calling a wing slide. After the wing slide, you hit a flat spin corkscrew, pop up into an airtime hill, and then finish the ride with what they are calling a 360 degree Raptor roll. If we look at this image, this shows the full layout of the ride, and I think there's a lot of great elements on this ride, so I want to start by talking about some of the moments of the ride that I think are going to work out really well. For the most part, I think the first half of the ride looks absolutely awesome. A 65 mile per hour launch to start the ride will be a great way to get the momentum going, and I kind of prefer this to another wing over drop or a wing coaster with a drop. The wing over turn also looks fantastic. At first, when I saw this wing over turn, I was a little bit underwhelmed, but seeing that it's going to be 145 feet tall, it kind of makes me think that it's going to be a great moment of the ride, especially if you're on the left side of the train where you're hovering over the track. The dive loop on this ride also looks like it's going to be a great moment. Dive loops are always fun, and with this being 119 feet, having that height and that stature is going to be a great element. Also, the Raptor roll at the end of the ride looks like it's going to be a great way to finish off the ride, especially once that train starts to lose some momentum. I think that all of these elements that I just talked about really fit for this style of ride, being a wing coaster, but I really like the size and scale of them. Some of the wing coasters are a little bit tighter, but with these elements being massive, I think that it's really going to feel like you're flying like a bird as you go through each and every one of them. So I'm really excited to get my first ride on all of these parts so far. With that being said, let's move on to some parts of the ride that I think could be hit or miss. The three elements that I think could be okay are all in the second half of the ride, and they are the S-turn, the wing slide, and then also the airtime hill. Now, I don't think that each of these moments are going to be really bad, but they have the potential to be really good. I just don't know if they are going to hit the mark. Let's start by talking about that S-turn. Typically, when I enjoy an S-turn, it's much lower to the ground and produces a lot more forces. This seems taller and more spread out, so I don't know if it's going to be what I typically prefer in that type of element. Hopefully, you still maintain some speed as you enter that part of the ride, and you do get some decent whip and forces as you go over it. Next, you have the wing slide. Now, I'm really excited to experience this moment because Fury 325, my favorite roller coaster, has a moment that's very similar to this in that treble clef. The main difference in that moment is that you start lower and end higher, but you're also flying through that moment on Fury at a really fast speed. If this moment on Rapterra is not going fast enough, this moment might not be as forceful as it needs to be, and it could be underwhelming. The corkscrew that follows the wing slide seems like a pretty decent whippy inversion, but it probably won't be anything new or unique. Overall, I think that Rapterra is going to be an absolutely fantastic addition to King's Dominion's lineup. I could definitely see this ride falling somewhere in the top 3 after Intimidator 305 and Twisted Timbers. I definitely think that it'll be better than the other B&M in the park, Dominator. It was also a really great decision to make this a launching coaster, considering that Volcano was a launching coaster and that sat on this same plot of land. One of the things that I'm actually most excited for with Rapterra is actually the off-ride or non-rider experience. I love the way that this ride just flies over the pathways between where the entrance to the ride will be and Tumbili. I think that if you're not riding this ride, you're going to get amazing views. I mean, standing underneath that wing over turn is going to be absolutely incredible, and the footage that I'll be able to get for this ride is going to be fantastic. Bollinger Mabillard coasters always feel absolutely massive, and they're awe-inspiring when you stand there and look at them. So I sense that this ride's going to be just the norm, considering that it looks absolutely huge, especially for a wing coaster. King's Dominion has also been doing a really great job with the theming of the Jungle Expedition area, and based on the videos that we're watching, all of the pillars and stonework that we see here really seems like it's going to add to the experience, so I am super excited to get into this area of the park and experience this ride for the first time in 2025. That's going to do it for my quick initial analysis of Rapterra at King's Dominion. Let me know what you think of this ride. Are you super excited for Rapterra, or were you hoping for something else at King's Dominion? And until next time, keep on coasting.